music is said to still be heard emanating from these walls. But the base is allegedly home to more sinister spirits. The stairwell in particular is associated with a dark, oppressive figure who awaits those who enter, perhaps hailing from an era prior to the site's use as a military base. Indeed, an old track favoured for walks by the infamous Brown Lady of nearby Raynham Hall ran adjacent to the armoury. Could it be that centuries of death, witchcraft and demon worship maintain a powerful grip within these walls and threaten the safety of all those who dare enter after dark?
So that's the armoury where the team are now heading. I'm over with our historians, with John Callow, of course, and Miriam Cook. John, if we can start with you first. This is a vast site. How big was the operation here? Just one of, what, 37 airfields in Norfolk?
That's right. It's an enormous area. This is really the front line, where Britain's sovereignty, where its freedom was protected from 1939 right up until 1945. And, of course, the North Sea was a major, major battleground. U-boat packs are patrolling the infamous wolf packs, destroying our merchant seamen, really trying to starve the country into submission. It was also a possible area for invasion. So the night fighters that left here, we even came across earlier references to meteorological flights, because of course looking at what the weather is doing, especially for a weekend like we're having, was incredibly important, knowing when the bow fighters and the Blenheims that left these airfields got over to the industrial areas of Germany and the occupied continent, if there was going to be enough cloud cover. And of course, sadly, that vested itself as well in the losses our boys took. And Miriam's got something about that.
Over the period of the war, there were 86 aircraft lost from this base. And there were a number of crashes also after the war. We've got reported ones in 1956, 1957, 1955, crashes in the woods near here. And I suppose what I would be quite interested in is find out where these poor souls were buried as well, whether they buried locally. I know there's some RAF burials in East Raynham, but whether they're to do with the war or after the war, we're not quite sure. And
again, of course, anything that we discover that is more recent, in the interest of safeguarding the feelings of relatives who might be watching, obviously we will keep confidential.
Exactly,
but for the moment, thank you both very much indeed. And we want to hear what you're seeing and sensing at home on a very active night indeed. Julian Clegg has the latest. Julian.
Thank you, Paul. Fantastic. Lots of great messages, lots of sightings and lots of memories and stories about the airbase. Keep those coming. And reaction to tonight, of course, Leah, Debs, Cass and Izzy in Oxford, two figures, an adult and a child, walked around the team, then loitered by the left-hand side of the group before disappearing just now. Thank you for that reaction. Amanda in Liverpool, as the team had their hands on the wreckage and the object was moving, I saw two massive orbs by Karl. Be careful. I can feel there's something playing with the team. And at 9:45, says Josephine, the team were experimenting with the wreckage. I heard echoing footsteps in the background. Very interesting. Let's move on to the webcam, shall we, and see what you're seeing. And first up, webcam 1 in hangar 3. Let's bring that up. That's where the team have been, of course. Two tall gentlemen constantly walking around the hangar. One of the gentlemen looks angry and very distressed. Is Matthew in Gainsborough. Andrew in Sheffield, I'm hearing footsteps and seeing orbs at the back of the hangar. Andrew, thank you for that one. Moving on to the armoury now, where the team, of course, are going to be setting up the armoury basement. Webcam 2, Tasha in Glasgow. I can see a dark figure at the side of the banister. And Claire in Surrey says, I saw a little girl trying to open the door. She was wearing white and had black hair. I think her name is Sarah. Now, webcam 3, the armoury office on the first floor. There it is. We saw a black shadowy figure, say James and May from Herne Bay. It was in the doorway on the right of camera 3. And Jenny in Manchester, we saw something being thrown across the room. It looked like an apple or something of the same sort of size. And webcam 4, the social club bar area. There it is. Let's bring it up right now. And the team getting ready, of course, to investigate. Susie from Felixstowe, there's a figure playing guitar in the right-hand corner of camera 4. And Carrie and John from Birmingham see a man stood in military uniform with a traditional sash on. Now, I'd like you to get in touch. This is how you do it. You can text me, text the word screen followed by a space, and then your message and sightings to 80889. The text costs 50p plus one standard rate message. Don't forget to tell us your name, where you're from. You must be over 18 to get in touch. And of course you can get in touch via our website and send your photos now, of course, very importantly, to mosthauntedlive.net. Finally, some more messages about West Raynham and the base here. Peter in Staffordshire, the crew should be careful of a Polish airman who died on the base. He'll make contact this week. And good luck, team, tonight. I was based at Raynham. I heard lots of noises when I worked there, especially in the hangar. Be careful of the cold. Some spirits, though, will be pleased to see the team tonight. For the moment, from Interactive, that's all. But Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Julian. Well, Phil Wyman is with us, our paranormal investigator. Phil, what could explain, if anything can, the lifting of that great chunk of metal, the vibration, and then that Morse code, the knocking coming through quite clearly?
Well, if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, Chris being the medium might be able to access any energies which are absorbed into that piece of aircraft and then kind of replay those energies via his channeling capabilities, which could lift or move the actual object in question. Now, as far as the table is concerned, again, with everybody's fingers and hands on the table, that's kind of acting as an energy conduit, if you like. And spirit tapping, as it's known, is a very old kind of method of spirit communication, where supposedly the spirit comes through and taps out messages for the loved ones and people who are asking.
But that has always been, I thought, like 1 for yes, 2 for no, nothing quite that complex.
That's what I have to admit, I've never seen anything quite as complex as using Morse code, which is fantastic because it kind of ties in to the area where we're investigating, so that's quite interesting as well.
Thank you for the moment, Phil. The team have relocated. We're going straight back there. This is Most Haunted Live, the Silent Town, and we're back after this. Winter in Norfolk can be forbidding enough, but the events of tonight's investigation for Most Haunted Live, the Silent Town, have added a sense of foreboding to the already chilly atmosphere. We're absolutely live from the former RAF base, West Raynham. The team commenced the vigil just after 9 with some amazing results straight off. We have had a hunk of plane vibrating, perhaps levitating. We've had knocking in code, possibly, around a table, witnessed by the whole team and everybody watching at home. And now they have relocated, and who can blame them? They're now in the armoury, and they've been joined by our audience member, Katie Darcy. Let's get straight back for the second location in tonight's vigil.
Okay, thanks very much, Paul. We've actually come into our second location for the evening, the armoury. I've never been in here before. I think it's quite similar in looks to the location, so I've been told, to last night's.
Yeah, to the first night's location.
Yeah.
Same to the corridors, rooms off the corridors.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more, even more tatty and derelict than yesterday. The ceilings are all sort of a real mess, and I don't know if you can see that at home, with all the paint's coming off and everything. The noises you can hear are just all the cable being pulled back. Our audience member is with us. We're just coming in through to a room now, which I believe, I won't say what it is, but I do know that it's was for a particular, used for a particular reason. And the floor is really undulating, and we've got to be really careful.